I can't even believe that I am making this video today. My friends are going to think I've absolutely lost it, but I'm taking radical measures as of today to make sure that I follow through with my departure from social media. So if you're watching this on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, I know that's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure, but I do have people that follow me here. I have people that have followed me, my blog, for a long time on these platforms, and I feel like I owe it to them to let them know why these pages are going to be disappearing very soon and where they can then follow me in the future. I've actually been thinking on this for a long time, even though, ironically, I know I've tried to revive my Instagram, reopen my TikTok just recently. This has been in the back of my mind for a while. I've actually told my friend a number of times, I wish I could just, walk away from social media. I can't fully walk away from social media because I live so far from home, and it's one way that I keep in touch with people from home. This video is going to be totally different than my previous videos on my channel, but probably more reflective of what you're going to see from me in the future. More of me sitting down with, a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and chatting with you more on a personal level and not so polished and professional. I feel like, first of all, I feel social media fatigue on a very deep level. I feel so exhausted trying to chase the algorithms, trying to get my voice out there. I mean, even with Google search engine optimization, I'm done. I was talking with my best friend about that the other day. I'm done with chasing the Google search engine optimization. SEO, for those of you who don't know what that means when you go to Google something and the first things that show up in your Google search, those are things that rank high in search engine optimization. And for a long time, my blog was my number one source of traffic for my blog. I had worked really hard on improving my SEO strategy, to get my content out there, and it worked. It really did, until it didn't. And when Google put in a new update back in the spring, my traffic literally went from one day to the next. And this is not exaggeration. I actually went to my analytics and tracked it down, and I can tell you on exactly which day it tanked my blog, because it went from, fairly good traffic. It had been sort of, I don't know, dropping off a little bit, but some of that is just, the ebb and flow of things. But it went from being okay, fairly good in, considering what I usually get, to 1/4 of my traffic, literally overnight from one day to the next. And that's when I decided I'm done. I'm done trying to chase that machine. But I continue to try to chase the social media machine. But here's the way that I see social media now. The way I see social media now is me going out into this hugely crowded stadium of like millions of people and trying to find the loudest and most obnoxious megaphone I can get and shouting my message out there, hoping somebody's going to hear it. But when I look realistically at who I'm speaking to on these various platforms, these are people that are either already, like, I know them in real life, people from my church, so I interact with them, or people that are on my email list for my blog, so I'm interacting with them there, or people that are involved in my Good Morning Girls Bible study. So, when I'm looking at that, I'm seeing, oh, these are people that I am in a far more meaningful and effective relationship somewhere else. So this is redundant. Or when I look at my Facebook, I have 0 interactions there at all, like no interactions. So that's not redundant. That's just a waste of time. And, I was actually talking with somebody yesterday, a friend of mine, and I was saying, I just feel like, I'm spinning so many plates right now with, with my increased involvement in my local church and all of the things that I'm hoping that I can keep all of these plates spinning without utter chaos just breaking out. And to be really honest, if I am completely honest, chaos is already breaking out. Like I'm already stressed out and I have such social media fatigue and I'm just feeling like I can't keep all of this stuff going. And I shouldn't. I shouldn't keep all of this stuff going. Why? Why should I do that? Why are we why are we on these platforms that when you look at how they've designed social media and the millions of dollars that they've paid to figure out ways to make these platforms addictive, is it a good Christian witness? And I'm not going to be judgmental. I've been super active on social media for almost since the dawn of social media. I was on MySpace, I was on Bebo, I was on internet forums, I was on all of these places, super early on. I am an super early Facebook user. You won't find that on my personal profile because I got really immature one day and deactivated my original profile and opened up a new one. Because I was having a rant. I was feeling very ranty that day. Somebody had made me upset. I feel like social media in a way does keep us emotionally stunted in our maturity. But anyway, all of that to say, I don't want to get judgmental because I've been all the things on social media. I have overshared on social media. I have fought with people on social media. They call it vague booking, where you vaguely put out something that is meant for a certain individual and it's, very ranty and immature. I have done all of those things. And I've been a long-time user of social media. So I'm not going to be judgmental because if I'm judgmental, I'm first judging myself. And, but we have to ask ourselves, are we genuinely being responsible Christians if we are actively using profiles or services, I should say, that are designed to induce addiction, and that we know and we say for ourselves are time suckers and are not effective in doing what we say that we're trying to do, namely spread the gospel and preach the kingdom of heaven. Like, how effective are these platforms in doing that? I have to ask myself, who have I ever led to Christ over social media? Nobody. Who am I encouraging spiritually on social media? Well, people, and I'm talking public profiles, like my Facebook page, like my fan page. Well, and even my personal, profile, if I'm being honest. And not just Facebook. Facebook is where I've always been most active. So I use Facebook as an example. But, when I'm talking about TikTok, when I'm talking about Instagram, who am I really touching on a meaningful level? Nobody that I'm not already touching on a meaningful level somewhere else. And it's far more meaningful. So none of these are really meaningful. They're not doing what we say that we're trying to do. So why do we keep doing it? My Facebook page was doing really, really well until Facebook instituted the algorithm. And then, my effectiveness has never been what it used to be, because the algorithm, it limits that effectiveness for me. And then of course when you were able to boost posts, so you had to pay to play, then my effectiveness pretty much went off the map. I mean, I'm just not, I mean, there's just nothing. And so why do I keep doing it? Why am I wasting my time when I am far more effective somewhere else? That's a far less time sucker. Why do I keep doing it? And so when I start asking myself those probing questions, I feel like I'm not going to ask myself that question if I'm not going to try to answer it, right? Then I'm just, then I'm not being honest with myself. So if I ask myself, why do I keep doing it if it's not effective? Why do I keep doing it if it's not doing what I want it to do? Well, the answer is because I'm addicted to it. And I go to Facebook and you do the scroll, hoping, so this endless scrolling, we know, if it wakens up in us this, FOMO, fear of missing out. If I don't stop scrolling, or if I stop scrolling, I'm going to miss out on something down there that I really want to see or really need to see. And I've asked myself this on a number of occasions. How often has that happened? Almost never. And if something did end up, by chance coming up that I really wanted to see or whatever, how life impacting was that? Not very life impacting. If somebody that I know wants to make sure that I see something that they've posted, and like, say for example, they posted something, it was a life altering event, maybe it was like a celebration, or something that they really really wanted me to see, and they see I've not interacted, I've not commented or anything like that. What are they going to do? They're going to go to my messenger and they're going to let me know, I got married, I had a kid, I got engaged or whatever. They're going to find another way. Messenger, Voxer, WhatsApp. They will interact with me personally, one-on-one, to make sure that I know that thing happened. And so then we come back to the fact that, well, maybe being there is not necessary. Maybe it's redundant. Maybe it's just, I don't need to be there. And so I feel so convicted now that, me trying to chase the hustle culture, me trying to make my voice heard in an arena where millions of other voices are shouting and trying to get people's attention. Isn't there a better way that is less exhausting, that is more effective, where I can do a whole lot less and maybe, hopefully, reach a whole lot more people? Maybe I need to make that decision. And I decided today that yes, I do. I need to make that decision. So now that I have explained my reasons for, over the weekend, I'm going to be deleting my Facebook page. I'm going to be deactivating that. I'm closing down all of my Instagrams, except for the ones that are connected with my Good Morning Girls Bible study. I'm closing down my TikTok. I'm leaving YouTube open because I don't see YouTube as a social media platform. I don't come to YouTube with an expectation of having this back and forth with people, except for in the comments. And I feel like that's no different than, say, my blog, which also has comments enabled, and I'm able to do that there. But really, I feel YouTube is more of a search engine, a video-based search engine, much like Pinterest is a visual search engine. And so I'm going to continue to publish, but I'm not going to be publishing shorts anymore on YouTube. I feel like it's redundant. It's a waste of time to have to go in and edit my videos down to shorts. I like the ability to maybe do longer form videos, although I will continue to do my 5-minute Galatians videos. But I want my interactions with people. I want the content that I put out to be rich, to be, um, to be impactful, and not just to be throwing something out the wall and seeing what sticks. I don't feel like that's an effective strategy. If I'm putting out content, I want to make sure that I want it to be meaningful content. I want it to be impactful in some way, and not just, you know, spraying all this stuff out there and seeing what works. Um, so where will you be able to find me going forward? I started to answer that and got sidetracked. YouTube. Um, I'll be active on YouTube. I'm active in my email, but if you follow me on email, and then you know that over the past couple of emails, I have not posted any pictures or any banners or anything like that. And the reason for, and I'm explaining this because this video is going out to my email subscribers as well. The reason for that is when there are a lot of graphics, when there are, you know, email banners and pictures and embedded videos and all of that, those emails most often will land in your spam folder or in your promotions tab on Gmail, where people are not very likely to find them. I find that my emails are hitting people's inboxes a lot better when it is just plain text, like I'm emailing a friend. And I feel like my interactions with my followers, I want it to be more that way. I want it to be more on a, I'm speaking to my friend level, right? So if you want to see, you know, snapshots from, like, say, our ministry work that we're doing, you know, pictures and things like that, I will be uploading that type of stuff, you know, pictures and things like that on Buy Me a Coffee. And in my email newsletters, I will have links to those things when there are things that I feel like people want to, you know, need to see. I will be taking measures today to remove all social media, or, well, I mean, I'm removing my Instagram profile entirely, so I will not even be found on Instagram any longer. But even my Facebook, I'm taking it off on my phone. If I post anything to Facebook, I want it to be intentional. So I'll have to sit down at my computer and actually put something up on Facebook from there. Um, I I'm wanting to remove all distractions from my phone so that I'm not getting sucked in. I feel so convicted about that. I do believe that all of these things negatively impact um, us emotionally. I feel like it has formed our opinions and even our speech. So I just a moment ago almost said the word, it impacts our mental health. That is not a term that I've ever used before, but I find myself using it more and more often. Why? Because it's my speech, my thinking patterns, all of these things are being formed and shaped by social media, because we hear these terms and we hear these things all of the time. And sometimes I find myself parroting stuff I've heard, and then I stop and think about it. Do I really believe that? And then I realize, no, no. I mean, is there such thing as a mental health? It is, but is it really mental health or is it soul health? It's soul health. And social media, it begins to stunt our soul. It stunts the way that we think. It stunts our emotional maturity and resilience and stability. And that has a massive impact on our spirit. And really, this, now that I'm coming down to the crux of the matter, why I'm even sharing this on YouTube, because I'm wanting to talk more about my own Christian walk, insights for my own Christian walk, and my own personal Christian growth strategies. And I feel like I'm not going to move forward in my spiritual growth and my Christian growth until I take this step. My word for 2024 is relationship. I feel like social media is the sort of third person in my relationship with God. And I don't want that any longer. I feel like I'm not going to move forward in my own Christian and spiritual growth until I make this step. Lastly, I want to be able to take the time that I am wasting trying to come up with social media strategies that have never been effective, really. If I'm completely honest, they've never really been that effective. If I can take that time wasted and invest it in 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 putting out more content on YouTube and on my blog and in my books, that that content is going to be richer, it's going to be better, it's going to be more impactful, it's going to be more intentional. And why wouldn't I want to do that? Why wouldn't I want to put out more quality content for people, that I've been able to invest more of my time and more of myself in, because I'm not trying to split all my time up between those things, plus Facebook, plus Instagram, plus TikTok, plus doing shorts, plus, trying to spray bullet all of this stuff out, hoping that, I reach somebody out there somewhere. So I wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons. The first reason, of course, is to let people know where you can find me. You'll find links. I have a link tree, a link in my description box and in all the places. You'll find that link tree there. And of course, direct links to where you can find me. And it's not very many places anymore, where you can actually follow me. But I also wanted to put this out there because I want to inspire people to think about why we're doing this social media thing. And is it having a negative impact on my soul and my spirit? And is it at the same time actually effective in the ways that I say I'm trying to be effective? Is this honestly doing what I say that I want it to do? And if not, why do I keep doing it? Isn't that the definition of crazy? And I've concluded for myself that it is. I've concluded for myself that it is crazy, that I continue doing something that I know isn't effective and that I know is wasting my time, but at the same time saying I'm going to keep doing it to try to reach this goal that is unattainable and that has always been unattainable. And I'm just done with the crazy. I'm done trying to chase that. And I'm done trying to, after every algorithm change, figure out how I can get myself back into the algorithm. It's ridiculous. It's pointless. I can be more effective in other ways and trust. And so I'm going to wrap this video up with this: trust that if I seek the kingdom first, that God is going to bring the people to my content that need to be there. And so, first and foremost, even above writing and putting out quality content, seeking the kingdom, because I can't really write and put out quality content until I'm doing that. Am I right? So you can anticipate that by the end of this weekend, my Facebook page will be gone. My TikTok will be gone. My Instagram will be gone, never to come back. A better place to follow me would be on my newsletter, where I will probably be writing a little bit more often, because it's a place where I do want to engage with my followers on a more consistent and personal level. And there, if when I put out pictures of things, and stuff like that, which are going to be more ministry related and, sometimes personal. I will be sure in my email newsletters to include a link to where you can find those pictures, the videos, and all of that. And so with this, I bear thee farewell, but welcome to new platforms where you can follow me.